Hello, how's everyone doing tonight? This is Sandy from Doux Designs, and tonight we're gonna get our drink on. Not officially necessarily, well, I think some people are, but we're gonna color up some delicious drinks tonight. Hi, Shawnee. Thank you for joining me. I love it when you guys pop on quick like that. So right now, while I'm doing off screen, is cutting it out so you guys wouldn't have to wait for me to do so much. These drinks I don't think will take too long to color, so I think we're gonna do all of them. They won't take as long as the Tiki totems took. But they're so cute and so yummy. And did you know that drinks come in all different colors? Like, there are so many colors of mixed drinks that you can get. So we're going to play around with some interesting colors tonight. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. I love coloring these drinks. They are so much fun. They were pretty fun to draw too, I won't lie. So these are, I drew the images for the Paper Playdates group, which is our friend Teresa. She's in our group here. She is big into tiki, so I did these for her. And boy, are they yummy. So if somebody could say hi or something so I can make sure the comments are working, I would greatly appreciate it. And then we can get started. I can cut the last one out after we color it. Since I'm almost done with this one, and I already cut out the other one. So we have two ready to go. We have one more. We will color it, but it's not cut out yet. So you'll only have to wait for me to cut one. Isn't that awesome? I tried to get a head start. I had a pretty busy day today. So let's go ahead. Okay, there we go. Comments. Yay. Hi, Beth. I had a very busy day today, so I'm a little behind schedule right now, but we can just roll with it. All right, so this is, hi Teresa, this is the Paper Playdates Tiki Drinks. There's 3 different drinks on here, and they have really cute sentiments. Save water, drink rum, born to rum, it's rum o'clock somewhere. I remembered your birthday. Time flies when you're having rum, and keep calm and tiki on. So, hello. So I'm going to, we're going to color them all. They're not that hard to color. They're pretty quick. This one will take the longest, but it's pretty cool, so we don't want to miss out on that. I've already pulled a few markers, as you can see over here, to kind of get us started. So I can only watch for 30 minutes, but I will definitely watch a replay when I get home tonight. Woohoo! Because you're already having drinks, aren't you? Let's start with this one. I'm going to grab my sticky mat so that these drinks, I don't spill any of these drinks on my desk. Get it? Such a comedian tonight. So there we go. All right. Let's go ahead and get rolling. So whenever I do glass, so this is going to be glass right here, I always use the C's. So sometimes I use 3 and then 1, and sometimes I just use 1 and then 0, 0. And every now and then I will throw in a very light blue, like maybe a B000. Just to give that glass reflective look. And this is the only one that has a glass. That one's in a coconut. That one's in a tiki cup, which we're going to do in kind of a wood fashion. So here we go. let's get rolling. We don't want to get behind too far. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the glass first. So I'm going to add this C3 in here, right in the areas where I think there would be the most shadow, because we're going to put a drink in here. We're going to need a bit of shadow. And then down here, I'm going to follow the artist drawn lines because, you know, they make it easy for us. And then up the side just a little bit. And then sometimes it's helpful to have a little bit right down the center. And we'll do that with the next color. So I'm also going to put just a little bit in these corners of the bottom of the glass. So I am going to put some B000 in there, but I'm going to put C1 first. So C1, that's where I'm going to put just a little bit of a line right down here. It's just a little bit of reflection and show that it's curved and all that good stuff. Gonna extend out from where I put that lightest color. Just kind of get some of that in there. Up here, we're going to extend down a little bit. And I don't know if you can tell on camera. You can kind of tell. I can tell on my TV a little bit that we got this color going on. I'm also going to take this C1 and I'm going to go along the edge of my glass. Now, you could make this with the drink inside the glass the way that I kind of drew it. But I don't want too much on the edge of this because I want my drink to go all the way through it. And it's clearly tall enough here that I don't need it around the lip of the glass either, because we have a lot of drink in there. So the next one, this is where I'm going to grab that B000. And I'm going to put just a little bit down the side of this glass. Of course, you probably won't be able to see much of it when we're done because we're going to make this drink a frozen drink in 2 different colors. So that way you'll be able to see how you mesh them together. And then towards the edge of the glass, I'm just going to add a bit of this blue in there. And then going up the sides, just a little bit of this blue in there. And right there. And all that's going to do is kind of enhance that gray, but also give that little bit of blue that makes it look like a glass. So there we go. Those are the ones I want to use on that so far. When that dries, if I feel like I need more, we can do it then. But right now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start working on all of the embellishments inside the glass. So I'm going to start with the leaves, and I'm going to make them a bit of a medium color. So we're going to start with YG67. We're going to go to YG17 and then YG03. So we're going to use these 3 colors right here. I'm going to put that down just a little bit so it doesn't shadow what we're coloring. And then I'm going to start down here at the base where the most shadow would be, and then whichever leaves are overlapping will have some shadow on the side. Also down the middle. So this one is under this one. This one is under that one, so I'm going to put the shade on this one. And all of that is shadowed by this little tiki face right here. Hi, Shalana. So I'm going to go on the underside of this one, and then down the middle, the underside of this one, and then that one is overlapping this one. So I'm going to add a bit there, but only to the point where there's a leaf. And then we're going to do the center of this leaf, right like that. See, just a little bit of the dark stuff, and then we're going to move on from there. Super happy that you jumped on, Shalana. It's been a while since I've seen you. YG17 is next. We're not really going to do around the outside with this color. We're just going to leave the tips for the lightest color. So I'm just extending out a bit with this YG17, leaving the tips of these for the last color. And I don't want to get it on my little tiki stick right here, my little stir stick. And then just a little bit on this one. And then one more color. And you'll see these drinks, they color up pretty quick. I was surprised. So YG03 is next. And this time, what does your when does your stamp store open? It is coming soon. The new release arrived at my house today. So our aim is for the second weekend in June. It actually is mine and Dale's birthday that weekend, and we thought that would be the perfect release time. Plus, I think we'll have all of our stuff done by then. So that's our target date. We haven't announced it officially yet, but the stamps did arrive today, so we're pretty close to on target. So unless we run into something, it'll be later than that. But for right now, that's the plan. We have lots of cool stuff. Most everything except for the stamps is made in-house. So yeah, gonna be lots of cool stuff and stuff you can't get anywhere else. Some of it you might be able to get a different version somewhere else, but for the basics, you won't be able to get these particular things anywhere else because we made them here. All right, so next, I want to make this an orange right here. So we're gonna work on that next. And I'm going to start with YR27 for this peelings of the outside. I love the punny sentiments in this set. You love this set? Yes. I'm sure that she would love for you to come check out her site. It's paperplaydates.etsy. I think .etsy.com. Hold on, let me tell you. It's on the back of this. Yeah, there it is. Paperplaydates.etsy.com. That's where you can find these. They will not be sold in my shop because I did them for her. So if you want them, you have to go to her place to get them. Okay, so I'm going to use this YR27. I love these drinks, though. You could use these for almost anything. Congratulations, you know, happy birthday. And times have been rough. Let's go have a drink. You know, you never know. So you can kind of use them for a lot of stuff. So that is very exciting. I'm just doing around the edge of this because I want to keep that outside peeling a little darker than the rest of it. You're welcome. And then I'm also going to do a little bit around this part, this internal part. And I'm just doing a little bit on this on one side, not all the way across, but I just want to get a little bit of that depth in there. It will help when we start putting the other colors in, just to have that mixture of this darker color. So just adding that in real quick. So really little bit of that in there. You're welcome. Yeah, I'm so excited. When our delivery arrived today, I could barely stand it. My mom was actually here. She was excited. YR18 is next. And I'm going to keep going around the edge. And it's kind of spotted. It won't be completely filled in, but it's such a small area that if you hold the marker upright, you can just kind of go along that edge right there and get that color in there. So, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I have a problem with this nib. Look, can you see it right there? Like right along that edge is a really shiny spot. You see that? If you see those shiny spots on your nibs, that means it's clogged right there. See it? So you either need to take it out, clean it up, try to put it back in, or get a new one. Just saying. Yes, she has, Cheryl. Okay, so for this, I want to put, like in an orange, you can always see all those lines up and down the orange. So we want to get some of those in. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to hold this marker upright. So bear with me if you can't see, but you're going to want to put different, oh, what is the word I'm looking for? Different lengths, you know, some short, some long, but you want to do them a little bit away from each other just to kind of get that in there. It'll start building that orangey look. You know, looks like an orange. If it looks like an orange, it must be an orange. You can do them from either side. It's up to you. But you don't want to fill it in too much because you want to leave a bit of space for you to put in the other colors so it won't remain so dark, because we don't want really dark orange. It wouldn't necessarily be dark, that dark. Oranges always have a little bit of a bright orangey look to them, so we're just getting those basics in there. And then we'll start working on the rest of it. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use YR16, a little bit of YR16, and then we may switch to like YR04 and YR02 just to get those brighter colors in there. If I can find my, oh yeah, I did pull it out already. Okay. So YR16, this is the one that I'm going to finish the outside peeling. I want to keep the outside peeling a bit darker than the inside. So I'm going to use YR16 to finish that off. And then there's these small spaces in between, which sometimes are like a white color, but they're probably going to show up a little better on here if I just do them in the same color as the skin. So, or the peelings, I guess is the word I should be using. I mean, we're not technically not coloring skin. There we go. All right. So that gets that color. Now we're going to start lightening the color just a bit. So YR04 is next, and we're going to use YR04 a lot tonight, especially on this drink. Okay, so I'm going to start from the edge because I want to keep the edge more dark than the center. I'm going to use the side of my marker and just drag that color down a little bit. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Try not to get it in your drink. Try not to get alcohol marker in your drink. Not always an easy thing. All right, now I'm going to switch to YR02 because it is way lighter than the other colors that we were using. And I'll show you on this little scrap piece of paper. Make sure it's light enough to what I want. Yeah, so really, really light. And this time I'm going to go from the center out, like this. Just filling in any part that is white. Notice I am only hitting that one time, because I don't want to saturate it. I want it to look lighter in the center. So I don't want to saturate and blend. I want to see all the details in this orange. See? It makes it look really yummy, doesn't it? You're feeling crafty and thirsty? Yeah, it's only going to get worse, just saying. Let me turn this light just a little bit. It might make it a little easier for you to see the details on the drink. Okay. Now, we have to put, I think I'm going to put up here in this little tiki guy right here. I think I'm going to make him like a bluish teal color, because I think he'll match the background. Since I showed you guys that paper on Tuesday, I think we're going to use that same paper for these drinks tonight, because I think they'll be great. Now, you have the option. You can pretend like the eyes and the mouth you can see through, and so you don't have to color them in, or you can color them in, whichever way you see it and want to do it. So I chose BG09, BG07, and BG05 for my stir stick. So I'm just putting it on the bottom and then up here by the neck. I'm going to go a little bit underneath it, like that. I'm going to do these little thingies on the top in this dark color as well. And then I'm going to go a little bit underneath the eyebrows and a little bit under the eye right here. And I'm kind of thinking maybe I might want his nose to be this dark color. So I'm going to go ahead and color a bit on his nose. And we're just going to keep his nose darker. I'm thirsty too. I've been taking a lot of cold medicine, so I feel very dehydrated. BG07 is next. And just for funsies, we're going to leave the eyebrows for the lighter colors, because I think it'll make him look silly, and that'll just make it more fun. I mean, once you have a few drinks, that's probably how you'd see him anyway. Just kidding. Maybe. Sort of. We all know how that can go. All right. Let me get that along the top there. For some reason, I can't seem to touch the paper. And then I'm going to finish his nose. And I'm going to make sure I have some under his eyes, so his little eyes stand out. So cute. He's so cute. I should have made a great big one of him, because he's so much fun. BG05 is next. And I may go one step lower for the mouth and the eyebrows. So I'm going to start filling this one in with BG05. There we go. How cute is that? He needs a little blending right here. There's some shadow there, but I wanted to make it just a little bit darker. And I think we'll pull out the next BG in the sequence, so BG02, and that's the one that will do the eyebrows, the eyes, and the mouth. It'll just make it stand out a little bit more. I mean, technically, they're usually all the same color star sticks like that, so I'm going to open my BG07 one more time, because I forgot to finish off this stick down there. So there we go. Now his little stir stick is done. We're going to stick a lot with these colors throughout the entire process, just so that we don't have to use too many markers. So I'm going to go back to my green colors, and I'm going to do the straw. And you could do it spotted or striped or solid or whatever makes you happy. We're going to actually do this one striped. So I'm just going to take this color that I have, which is YG67, and I'm just going to put these stripes in the straw. No shadowing effect here, just putting the stripes on the straw. It's pretty easy, straightforward. You could do that and then leave the rest white and you could be done. But, you know, we can't go that easy. So I'm going to grab YG17 and I'm going to put a little bit of YG17 to the right of every stripe that I put on there. So just to the right, nothing to the left. And then we'll grab one more color. We'll do the YG03. It's the same colors we used over here, so the straw will match. Now I'm going to go to the left of that really dark stripe we put and just add this YG03. And then our straw is going to look like it's 3 different colors, like a little twisty straw. So there we go. Now we have this really cool little twisty straw going on. And it's time for us to color our drink. So for tonight, what I thought on this drink was that I'm going to start with one color and then fade into a different color. Have you ever seen like those sangria type drinks where they start off one color and turn into another color, like red to white, or, you know, in our case, we're going to do orange to yellow, kind of. So I'm going to start with YR18, and we're going to put that YR18 around the bottom of the glass. So I'm going to start by using this as the base of my glass, because usually there's some thickness on the glass. So we're going to start like that, and if we need to put some shadow colors, we're just going to put it in a much lighter color. Not sure that made sense to you guys, but it will when we get there. So I'm just doing this like a second time so I can extend a little bit further. Whenever you layer Copic markers, if you let them dry, they will become darker where you overlapped them the second time. Hey Beth 2, how are you? Now we have Beth 1 and 2 here tonight. Yay! Okay, next we're going to go to YR16. And we're just going to keep moving up the glass with these colors. It's almost like doing a rainbow. I wanted to make this a layered drink. Like right now it looks terrible. So if you're coloring with me, don't judge it yet. We're not quite there. We're going to put this color in, and then we're going to work this little area right here. So we're going to go over it again, and I'm going to go over this so it all like blends together, and then we're going to move it up. We're just going to go over it a couple of times until we get a real smooth blend from one color to the next. As we introduce some yellow into this, it's going to look super cool. So for right now, what we have is 2 colors in there. Hi, Teresa Rose. How are you? Okay, next color we're going to do is going to be YR. Nope, we're going to change to Y38. This color is, while it's a yellow, it still has a really orange color to it, which is why I chose it. So it's yellow, but it's not yellow, so it works very nicely against an orange color. So again, we're going over where we put that last color and extending out. We have to go over it more than once to start getting those colors to blend together. But notice how I allow them to take a little bit of time for the colors to mix together before I go over them again. If you do that, it'll work a lot better. Because that is the way Copic markers work. They blend together, the chemicals blend together. And however much colorless blender you have, that's going to generate how much lighter your color is going to be. So look at how awesome that drink looks already, and we're not even there yet. All right, so now I'm going to switch to Y35. Again, this one is still a bit of orange in there. Because we're going to move this into a really light yellow color. So just getting this transition between orange and yellow. Notice I don't go all the way back over this stuff again because it will wash it out. You want one? You want one of these drinks? Me too. I could use it for my throat tonight because it's a bit on the scratchy side. Now we're going to jump over and do Y15. This one is going to be way more yellow than the other ones were. So we're really starting to hit that yellow. And when we jump to the next color, it just is yellow. Again, you just go over it until that color softens up and blends together. So don't scrub it. Don't keep doing it over and over and over and over and over like that. Give it a little bit of time and then just do these small, tiny little brush strokes over top of it and then give it time for it to mix itself because it will. And then when you're happy with it, and you can move on to the next one. But before I do that, I'm going to put a bit of this dark color up here in the top. And I'm just going to like dot it in there. And if need be, I may add some even darker here in a little bit. But I want you to be able to see a little bit of that darker color in there when we add the next color. Hey, Meg. Welcome, welcome. So our next one is Y11. I love Y11. It works for lots and lots of stuff. So I'm going to start at the top of the glass and blend down first. And then I'm going to go from here up. So I really just wet the paper that first time because I don't want to spend too much time going over this and over this because there's a lot more colorless blender in this marker and I don't want to wash out my nice blending color that I have going on right here. It works fantastically like that, so I don't want to mess with that. And now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just color in between for the rest of my top of my drink. See how that makes it look like the drink is like really slushy and all that good stuff? All the good stuff. Now, this is basically an amazing mixed drink. It looks really good. That orange looks a little bit more on the orange, like on the darker orange, almost like not real color. So what I'm going to do is go over a little bit of it with Y15 just to bring it back to a bit more yellow because I feel like it's a little bit too orange. Like maybe instead of YR04 I should have hopped to those Y38 and stuff, but look at how much better this looks just putting a coat of this Y15 over top. That like really helped. I love it. Now I'm very happy with it. So whenever you're making a mixed drink like this, like that's frozen, it's always a good idea to give that impression that it's frozen. And you know, whenever you make a frozen drink, there's always that like bit of white ice type look to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our white gel pen and we're going to start putting some dots in here. This is going to give it that foamy look at the top that a frozen drink usually has, so that it looks like you could actually drink that. See how the white kind of changes that up a bit? the more closer you are to it, the better you can see it. It's a little bit hard to see on camera, but you know what it looks like. I'm going to put a teeny bit along this straw, just because it would be reflecting some light because it's round, and it would be, you know. And then I'm going to put a little in his eyes because that'll make his eyes look cool, just for the heck of it. And I might put a little down in the glass, just so there'll be a bit of a reflection on the glass, so you can kind of see that it's glass, if you will. And then I'm going to put some down here. This is my white gel pen doing magic for me. And then I have an amazing drink right here. And that's drink number 1. Not difficult, not challenging to do, but super yummy. That straw looks cool with the white on it. Yeah, super cool. You can do that with any color. It doesn't have to be orange to yellow. On the glass, I did the blue. You can see the white foam a little bit better on this one. So, you know, you can see it a little bit better on the on the scanned view. Here we go. Look who's up next. Lava Man. We're going to make this a lava drink. So this is going to be a very cool lava drink. A lava rocket. I don't know. What do we call it? Lava. I don't know. I don't know what they call drinks. I don't get them very often, but I know who could tell you all about it. All right, here we go. You ready? All right, so there's a lot of colors you can do this in. On the packaging, I did like a bluish color to this guy right here. But tonight, we're going to do him more like a brown, almost like he's a wooden cup instead of a plastic cup. So I'm going to start with the E's. And I'm going to throw in a bunch of them because we have a lot to cover and we want it to have lots of different tones in there. So I'm going to use all of these, E49, E29, E27, E37, E35, E25, E33, and E23. I'm going to use all of these colors. And then we'll probably use those blue colors for the accents on his face and such, just to so we can incorporate this color in there too, since it's in this one. You know, we might as well add a little fun to it. And this lettuce stuff right here, we're gonna start with a darker color this time. We're gonna start with G99. So I'm going to go ahead and do the base part right here and whatever is shadowed. So all this area in here is like all shadowed by the other pieces of, I don't even know what you call that. Greenery. What do they call that when you put it in a drink? I know there's a word for it. I just don't know what it's called. Just your fancy whatever. Clearly, I've never been a bartender, so I don't really know. But I know there's a word because I watched Bar Rescue. So I know there's a word for it. I just don't know what the word is. Feel free to chime in and help me out if you know. It's like, I didn't think it was garnish, because garnish is more like when you're cooking a meal, so to speak. I would think it would be called something else, but I can't remember. Garnish, that's the same thing I thought, Shalana, but I wasn't sure if that was just related to food or, I mean, maybe that is the word. I'm not sure. I can't say. It's the stuff you don't eat, you take out, but it makes it look pretty. Yeah, that stuff. That's the stuff. Now, with this guy, we're going to actually color him with some of the, like with the eyes being almost like just a glass see-through, so you can see the drink inside, because it's just going to be super cool that way. So now I'm going to switch to YG67. I'm sorry, I had some insomnia last night, so I'm yawning a little bit today. But I'd still be up even if I wasn't doing a live, so no worries. I can color even when I'm half asleep. No worries at all. And these drinks are going to look great on these cards. I can't wait. I'm excited. All right. Anybody have any questions so far? Anybody having a drink right now with me? Shalana, do you remember those good drinks they had? That free happy hour when we went to when we were at the Jen Dove retreat? They had them every night while we were there at a certain time. They were so yummy. I always got 2 at a time. They were really good. I could use another one of them right now. Probably wouldn't have insomnia tonight. Yummy, yummy, yeah. They were really good. Now I'm going to go to YG17. So this garnish, if you will, is going to be significantly lighter than the one we did on the other cup. So we're using the same colors that we used for all of this, but just in a different combination so that we get a different look. Because, you know, that means you use less markers. You just use them over and over again. It's always important to do that for sure if you're going to put the cards, the drinks on the same cards. But I think this one is going to be on a card by itself and the other two will be together. So we'll definitely want to put the blue on the other one. The name could be Tiki Me Away. Oh yeah, that's really good. I should have texted you when I was trying to come up with stuffs. A margarita sounds good. I can't have margaritas. You're in the Drury right now? Night 2? You missed happy hour. Oh, how do you miss? Yeah, really. How do you miss free drinks? They're so yummy. I don't drink very often, but when they're free and you're in a hotel and you don't have to drive anywhere, why would you not? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and start on the cup. I'm going to leave the straw for later because I haven't decided what I'm doing with the straw yet. So let's go ahead and start with E49, Nashville Craft Retreat. Oh, that sounds like so much fun. That's awesome. Have you thought about going to the Craft Roulette? I'm going to be at the Craft Roulette retreat in July. You should come. I think there's 2 tickets left. I'm going to go along the top with this because I want to keep that edge of the glass defined right there. So it's usually like a lip on the glass. So, but this one's made out of wood. So you never know. You never know. You never know. You never know. Yeah, so there's only 2 tickets left to the Craft Roulette thing. They're almost sold out. I didn't hear about that one. Darn. I would go, but my July is already booked up. Oh, bummer. Yeah, it's at the... I think it's close to the end of July. I'm going, but one of the people I was going to go with, she's already canceled. And then the other one is unsure as she has gotten sick. And so I might end I might end up there by myself, but you're never by yourself because there's a whole bunch of people. I'll just meet all new people. I mean, I did pretty good when I went to the Gen Dev retreat. I met you. You can always make new friends like that. Okay, so I want to leave the center of the eyeballs alone, but I want them to really stand out. So what I'm going to do is put some of this really dark color in here to keep those eyes on target. Oh, see? You came there by yourself. See? You meet new people. It's nice. Crafty people are always fun, so no problem at all. I mean, I understand why the people that I was going to go with can't go. It makes sense and I understand. So I'm not like upset or anything. Plus, I mean, I know the vendors that are going to be there. So at least, you know, I'll know some people. I'll have a whole new table of people to sit with. And that's okay. We kind of already met on the website, introduced ourselves, so we'll know who we are when we get there, when we meet up. So I'm putting it just in the shadow areas, the parts that I want to stand out, the parts that wouldn't get as much light. So that's basically what I'm doing right now. And I'm doing it kind of slow just because I know that there's some people who actually already have these images that are following the coloring and they're going to want to try and color them too. So they are a little slower than I normally do it. I hope you guys don't mind. Okay, these center stripes right here, remember I said we're going to make those blue. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this really dark color along this edge right here. Just in between those stripes. Right there. I think one of the drinks I had when I was in Vegas was some kind of Kraken drink. It was really good. Crafters are happy peeps. Yes, we are. We are all happy peeps. And it's the highlight of my night when I get to come on and talk to you guys. I love it when you show up. And then when the regular people show up, then it's like, oh, my friends are here. And then when new people pop in, it's just even as exciting because it's like, hey, new people. Maybe they'll be regulars. Tonight, Dale isn't even out here, you guys. I've been working him like crazy. Getting ready for the shop. He's running the back office for us. So he has to load all the stuff. And he is super busy. And this weekend is Dallas Fan Expo. You guys know what that means. Dale is not going dressed up or competing this time. He's judging. They invited him to be the judge. So the reigning champ is going to be a judge this year. That's what we have going on this weekend. I'm trying to make sure that these small areas that are between the drink and the back of the glass kind of get filled in because there would just be no light back there at all. Maybe Blue Lagoon for a name. That's cool. Blue Lagoon. I like that. I like that. Okay. There we go. Now we have this darkest color. We have to be careful with this darkest color because it can be overpowering if you get too much in there. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm not going on Saturday when the judging is because Dale's not competing and I can't hang out with him. But I'm going on Sunday. E29 is next. And we're going to extend from where we put that original color. Just kind of drag it down a little bit more. This one is still pretty dark, so you don't want to really put too much. We don't want to overpower this being really dark. We want some really light color in there as well. So be careful with these two really dark colors. And they'll start getting lighter after this, and we'll be all right. I'm going to go a little bit further under here and start spreading this out just a little bit. I'm also okay with some parts of this cup being darker than others, so I'll put a little more in different places. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So since I want to make that other part blue, I'm going to go ahead and build a little bit of a wall in between those colors. Almost like this part is sunken in and that part's going to stand out. I have a story for everything, you guys. I have a reason and a story, and it can always change. You never know. Every time I color, my story changes. We need to do a little bit from the bottom just because it'll be sitting on something, so there'll definitely be a bit of shadow coming up from the table or wherever we're gonna sit our drink. Next, well, should we put some up here? Maybe on the back. We'll just go in between. Just in the back. I'll wait for the front for later, because we have quite a few markers here. So next, I think I'm going to go with, I'm not sure, I think E27 is darker than 37. I'm not 100% sure. For some reason, I'm having a brain fart on that. But I think 27 is darker, so we're going to just test it real quick. I always have scraps of paper. Yep. Yep, 27 is darker. So 27 is next. This is the one that I'm going to start building up there at the top. So there'll be some shadow, all the stuff that's like hidden back here. It's going to be pretty dark. And then we're going to start building this in from the back towards the front, because we're going to want a separation between the cup and the drink that's going to be in there. So I'm just going along, putting a fine line in there. Back here, I want to get just a bit more in there. Not as much light back there in the back part. Now, we're going to start building from the top of the eyebrow up towards the top of the cup. It'll stay pretty dark up there. Kind of start building into that between the eyes. I'm going to use this color to finish this inside part of the eyes. That way it'll stay dark, but it's still got some highlight effect going on there. There we go. I like those eyes. They look good. I'm going to wait before I use any more color on the parts around the eyes because I want them to stand out from each other. So I'm just going to wait on that part for some of the next colors. I'm going to put this around his mouth. Start building that around the mouth area. I'm going to do the same thing on the top here. There we go. Now notice I'm skipping this little section right here. I kind of want to make that a different color, so I'm just kind of avoiding that altogether. Extending down a bit from here. I'm only going to do it from the top. We'll use the next one from the bottom. Now we have E37. Ta-da! Next. All right. This one, going to finish off anything in the back. And then coming around the front, I'm just going to do right along the lip of that, leaving just a little bit of left for a later color. Now this, because it has such a dark color in there, we're going to go ahead and finish this part off. So any part up here that you see white, you're going to fill in with this E37. Now I'm going to start putting more color where I put that last color and extending out so we can start building in all that color. I'm going to skip everywhere else and go straight down to here on this one. Because after this color, they're going to start getting significantly lighter. The next one is when I'll start doing the eyebrows as well. So, all right. So next is going to be E25 because I think it's darker than E23. I mean, E35. 25, 35. Yep. The twos are definitely darker. So 25 is next. This is the one we're going to use as the shadow area for the parts that we're going to color now. So I'm going to add in this area where these the eyebrow meets the bottom part of the eye. That's where we're going to put that in. Just break it down one small section at a time and you can get it all done just fine. We're also going to go from the edge over here in towards the eyes. Well, I almost did it on the wrong side. Tee-hee-hee. And then this area right here, I'm going to do the outside part. Not any of that inside part. Just this outline right here in this color. And we're going to finish off these side panels right here. I want that to blend nicely, so I have to go over it more than once just to get that color, those colors to blend really well. There we go. They look super nice. And now we're going to extend a little further from the top. We'll start going into the bottom a little bit, but we're not blending it out yet. We're gonna wait just a little bit longer for that. I think I'm going to go like around this black with this color because I think that'll be really helpful later. All right, next one, E35. Now you saw when I put this one on the paper, it's that one. It's going to get way lighter now. So I'm going to go in from this side. Going to add a little bit more on this side. And in from the other side. Going to extend a little bit further from here and from here. Both sides for the eyes. We're going to finish this little stripey thing right here. I say stripey thing, that little stripey thing. Going to start filling in a little bit on the nose. We're going to do under the nose. Get this part filled in right here. Teeth will be done with the lighter colors in a little bit. Couple questions. What ink do you use to stamp your images, and what paper is it that you use? So when I stamp my images, Memento Tuxedo Black. This is my favorite one. I sometimes use the Sassy Club Black, but this is my favorite one. It's just a die-hard consistent. It's always good. When I stamp sentiments, it's this one because it's way darker. And the paper I use is Hammermill. It's fairly inexpensive. You can get it at Sam's or anywhere like Amazon. But make sure it's the one with the chameleon on the front. I'm blending out these bottom sections as well. And I used to be an Express It snob. Express It paper. I loved Express It. And then I switched to another paper, and I was so consistent with that one that it was hard to go back to the other one. Well, you have to get used to the paper. So whatever paper you're going to choose, make sure it's the one that you want to use all the time. You can't practice on a different paper and then switch to a good paper, because coloring on it is different no matter what paper it is. There's just a different technique, how much pressure, how much color, how much, and it's really hard to adjust back and forth. So E23, you're welcome. E23 is the next color, and we only have one more after this. So we're going to really start filling in now. I haven't decided what I'm doing with the teeth yet. So I'm going to do around the sides of his mouth. And I also think I'm going to go underneath the mouth. Almost all the way. I'm going to leave a very small part for the last color. We're going to finish up the sides of his nose, but not the center. We'll do the last color on the center. And then I'm going to fill in a little bit from this side, a little bit from this side, and leave a little bit for the last color. Right here, I'm going to do the bottom and the top, leaving a center piece for the last color. Bottom and the top. And then down here, oh, and I haven't forgotten to, I'm actually making your Copic list that we talked about on the last live. The Copic list of colors, because my colors change sometimes and I've learned different stuff about them. So the list that I wrote a while back, I'm just modifying it a little bit, and then I'll send it to you. All right, so next we're going to go to our E33. So I have not forgotten. All right, here we go. Filling that in with E33. Same thing with the eyes. So I'm just doing this back and forth motion. It helps blend. Get a smooth blend on that. I'm also going to go over the side nostrils one more time. And then we're going to finish the lips. We'll come back and do those teeth. I think we're going to need some dark colors for the teeth. So that finishes all the sections that I wanted to color with this color, with these colors. But I think in between where I'm going to put this blue, I think I'm going to go ahead and color this in with the E33. I want it to stay lighter, and then the stripes will be the blue. So I'm just using this color to color in between those stripes. There we go. Nice. Oh, you're welcome. No problem. Let's grab that blue. Maybe we'll make the straw blue too. So we have BG09, BG07, BG05, and BG02 if we need it. Those are the colors we pulled for the other for the other drink. So in this back one, I'm just going to put this darkest color. And I think I'm just going to put the next two colors on those because they're too small to do anything else with. These ones down here, I'm just going to put this blue at the top and at the bottom. And we might as well make that straw this blue color too. I mean, why not, right? Oh, I meant to show you how we can... I need to show you on this drink how you can show the stick in the drink and the straw. I forgot to do that, but we'll go back and do that. If I don't do it, just remind me. You guys, I might forget again, but if I do, let me know and I will go back and show you how to do that. So I want this straw to look like it was made out of some kind of bamboo or whatever kind of thing that they painted blue. So I'm putting these little lines through it so it looks like it was, you know, made like that. And a little bit of the dark around each one of the edges. So that's just going to get us this color built in there. All of that's going to be like it's lava. We're going to color the drink like it's lava. Because doesn't this kind of look like a volcano drink? BG07 is next. So we're going to do this second one right here in this BG07. Then we'll extend down a little further here and up from the bottom. So down from the top, up from the bottom, just a little bit. Up from the bottom, down from the top, up from the bottom. And then we're going to start working on this part right here. So I'm going to do these artist lines in between each one of these triangles. I feel like it'll give it a great effect. And then of course along the edge needs to all be filled in because it's round glass. And I'm also going to do just a teeny bit in this corner where the mouth is, just so I can make that a little more rounded looking. Now we need to put just a little bit up here on the straw. So extending up and down. And then I'm going to just extend those lines I put in there. And I'm also going to deepen the center lines. Here we go, BG05. I don't want to make his teeth in this blue color. I might wait on his teeth till after we do the other part. Okay, so now this front one is going to be this really light blue. And then we're going to extend a little bit more with this color. We'll finish that off with the last color in a minute. Gonna go straight underneath his mouth. Try not to get it in his mouth. And then along the bottom here, just a very thin line, just to start getting that color in there. I want it to stay kind of light because isn't that cool looking? All right, so going up the straw now, down from the top, and make sure you do the entire right edge. Leave the left edge for the last color. Last color is BG02. And for this one, I'm going to do the back and forth blending down here on these stripes, but I am not going to do that up here, so hold tight if you're coloring with me. Don't jump ahead. So for this section right here, I'm going to use the side of my marker and just touch that color in. I don't want to blend out those lines I put in there because I think they make a cool effect. So we're just going to put a little bit of color in there. That leaves them standing out really brightly. And I like them that way. And then at the top up here, I'm going to do the top side of this straw and the little drinking part. Now my straw is done. My guy is all fancy. I don't know, we're going to do the teeth last. Now we're going to start on, we're going to work on the lava drink. Okay, so for the lava drink, we don't have a lot of space. We have eyes and this part of the drink, but I have 5 colors. R59, R37, R46, R24, and YR04. Hello! Hello, Diana. How are you? This is Paper Playdates, but I drew them. But you can find them at Paper Playdates. It was a commission artwork for paperplaydates.etsy.com. And I know you didn't get to see last night's live, but last night we did, if you like tikis, last night we did the totems, the tiki totems. And the card is still right here on my desk. So you can see these are the totems we did last night. So this is all tiki themed this week. Tiki totems and tiki drinks. And these are the 2 we've done so far. And we have 1 more drink. So we're going to make this lava. So I want the darkest red to be in the middle of the drink. So the only place you're going to see that is in the eyes. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the eyes right here with this R59. I'm also going to put just a little bit up here, like on some of these artist lines. But that's it. Just a little bit up there. Oh, thanks. I'm so glad you like them. If you like them, you're going to like what's coming in the Doux Designs shop, opening soon. R37 is next. So we're just going to extend up from this one where we put this one. Just extending up a little bit. And again, we're going to go up here and we're just going to do a few more of these lines right here. So just adding a little bit more red in this top portion right here. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. Yay, I'm so glad you like them. I love them. I was really happy with how they came out. R46 is next. This one, we're going to go around the top of the eyes. And then we're just going to kind of go over and extend just a tiny bit from where we put that last color. And this one, we're going to start filling in some of this lava drink up here. So around the back side and by this straw. And then we're just going to leave it like that. I might actually do this last line here because now our colors are going to get significantly lighter. And we only have 2 left. I know, I can't wait, I can't wait. Oh yes, I love Meg's Lives. This is the next one. This is R24, and then we're going to move into some YR04. So I'm going to go around the eyes, leaving a small portion for that YR color that we're going to mix in. It's so cool. And then we're going to extend out from where we put this last color. All the dark color, we're just extending out in there. I'm going to go around the front side right here. And we're just going to be leaving a little bit for the orange. Okay, I think we're going to make those teeth really dark. I think that will be fun. YR04. So YR04 is where we're going to just do this like a little circular motion in here to add that orange into the eye. And see how that looks like. So cool. So starting with the little circle, kind of like we're spreading the ink back out towards the edges, and then just softening the transition between the 2 colors, and that gives us that really cool look for the eyes. Now we're going to add this orange into the areas where there's no orange, and a little bit over the red.
we're just kind of mixing those two colors in, and I'm not really doing this. I'm kind of just patting in that little bit of orange in there, and now the top looks like it has lava in it. I lava you so much. So true, so true, so great. So if I hold it up, you can really see, like you can see hopefully the difference between the red with the bit of yellow. Almost makes it glow a little bit like it would if it was lava. All right, I'm going to go back one more time with the E49 so we can get the teeth filled in. And I like to make these teeth very, with lots of lines in them because it's supposed to be wood and that's the way it works out. So I'm going to go along the bottom here, just along the bottom of his teeth. He's going to have very dirty teeth when he gets done. And just along the edges on the top. I mean, we could put red in his teeth, but then, oh my goodness, he would look like they were bleeding. So I'm going to choose just a couple of areas to start adding some of those lines in. And I don't, there's no rhyme or reason to like which ones I decide to add in. I'm just randomly doing it. And then a couple of them, I'll probably come from the bottom. Some are short, some are long. Some from the bottom, some from the top. And then on the top, I'm just going to come down on a few of them. Some short, some long. This one, I'll probably do that one in like that.
So now we have like really weird looking teeth. It will be okay. E29 is next. I wasn't sure if we were going to do these brown or I would have done them with the rest of it, but I wasn't sure. So building in a little bit more at the top there, extending some of these lines that I put, adding a few new ones. We're going to get way lighter after this color. We're going to skip a few of the ones that we used before. Because I don't want these, I want these teeth to be dark, but not so dark that you can't see them. I'm going to use this E29 just to do a separation between the two teeth. Kind of makes him look like he's gritting his teeth a little more and that one is over the other, like one, like his bite is correct. I don't know why I would even think of that for a cup, but that is the way I roll. We're going to jump down to E37 now. And I think we might only use like one more color after this. We don't need a lot of color in the teeth. We just want to get the impression. So I'm going to start going down from the top. I'll extend any of those little lines I put in there. I'll leave some white. I'm okay with that. I'll probably try to fill in more of the side parts and leave the front a little bit more open for the last color. Anywhere I put dark color up there, I want to go ahead and touch that now because it won't blend with the other colors. There we go. So just a little bit in there. Doesn't his teeth look just so dirty? Dirty and beat down. And we're going to skip all the way to 33. And we're going to fill in the rest. I want you to be able to see these crazy teeth. So I'm just going to extend down the teeth. And if need be, I'll use a white gel pen, but I think this is going to do it. Up from the bottom, down from the top. Don't do a lot of blending. We want to leave all those lines in there because they're just super cool. I mean, how could you not, right? All right. We're going to stick with the exact same colors and we're going to do one more drink. If your teeth are too dark, you can take the colorless blender and just add a few lines in there like this.
I mean, not that I don't need them, but I'm just showing you that you can lighten up some of those areas and make those teeth also look dirty and weird. So you have a little bit of play with the colorless blender if you feel like you need them to be just a little bit lighter. That's entirely up to you. Look, I made that one really light. But that's good. He'll look like he has one clean tooth. And look at those eyes. Amazing. All right, where is my white gel pen? Here it is. Time for white gel pen like we did on the other one. And then I'm just going to put a little bit in the eyes, like right here, so they kind of stand out. We'll put just a teeny bit on the nose, like it's sticking out as well. And I'll put a little bit along some of this part right here where the light would be reflecting onto your drink. Yummy, yummy drink. And I think that's all. I don't think I really want to put much more on that. I kind of like it just like that. So look at how fun that was. I mean, oh my goodness. Can you imagine all the different colors you could put with this? Look at those eyeballs. They're amazing. I love them. Okay, let me show you how to add that this drink is going through. I mean, that this straw is going through here and this stick is going through here. Okay, so there's two ways you can do that. You can just use your colorless blender and just start putting in a little bit of a line right there. You see how you can see it already? See it? Just give it a second, it starts appearing. Then this one, it's a little bit wider, so we need a little bit thicker line, and the straw should go pretty far down. Look at that. So you see it, it's starting to show up. You can tell there's something in your drink. So for the blue one, because it's light blue, I'm going to use my colorless blender to pick up a little bit of the BG02, the lightest color I used. So just a teeny bit. Gonna touch the paper first, make sure I get most of it off, and just leave a little bit on, and then I'm just gonna touch this really lightly with that blue. I want that blue to show up just a little bit in there. Then for the green one, then wipe off your colorless blender. The green one, we have really light colors, so we are A-okay with just using the green one. So we have YG03 and YG21. I think YG21, I'm gonna start with that one. Just putting a bit of that green in there. That's about all you need. You don't even have to do any more than that. YG21 did what I wanted it to do. I'm gonna take my Y11, just so it doesn't look like a huge separation on there, and I'm just going to go over it one time with the Y11, and that will just soften up that color. And now if I hold it up, you can see that it gives the impression that the stick and the straw are in there. You see that? That's how you can do that. You don't have to if you don't want to, but if you ever wanted to give that impression that the straw was in your cup or that it wasn't all that thick of a frozen drink, that's how you do it. All right. Next, we have this cutie pie right here. We're going to use the same colors, and this is the quickest color up. So, or at least I think it is. Blowing my mind with the straw coming through the cocktail glass. Yeah, I know. It looks so cool, doesn't it? I mean, you just don't even think about it until, and then once you put it in there, you're like, wow, that really makes a big difference. So this is going to be like our coconut glass. So we're going to color it kind of like a coconut. So I'm going to start off with my E29. It's a cool detail. I love it. And I'm going to start going along this top section right here. and just extending out where the artist lines are. I put the lines in there to help you guys out. I'm also just dabbing a bit of color in each one of those triangle spaces because I want that edge of this to be darker. I'm extending down pretty much only on the artist drawn lines for now. I will be adding a lot more lines than this, but for now, that's the way I want to do it. That starts us off. And then on the bottom, good night. That's okay. We know that. That's okay, Meg. I know some people like to go to sleep. You'll catch the replay of the coconut. It's a pretty quick color up. It won't take that long. So we're just kind of going along the bottom and then extending up wherever the brush strokes, wherever the artist lines are. So just kind of all along the bottom because it is sitting on a table or somewhere. And I'm just doing these little brush strokes all the way up. This is why this is a quick one, because this coconut is easy to do and it's going to give you a really cool textured look. I'm going to put just a tad bit more on this side. There we go. So that's the step one. Step one. That was E29. Now I'm going to switch to E37. These are the same colors that we used in the lava drink. Night, Meg. Night, everybody that's leaving, everyone that's staying. Yay. Okay, E37 is next. And what I'm going to do is try to just put some brush strokes in between where I put the other ones. So I'm just extending in between everything. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, just whatever floats your boat. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do the same thing from the bottom. Doesn't matter which side you start on, just do it in between, or as close to in between as you can. Some short, some long. Don't make them all the same length. Once you get really used to doing this flicking, you can do them short and long, and it's super easy. So look at how good that's coming along already, and we just started super fast. So now I'm going to skip to E23. I'm only using certain markers from the color combination on the lava drink. Okay, this is the one I want to be around the outside. So I'm going to make sure that all my edges are covered in here. And then I'm going to do more of these strokes, like in between, wherever there's white in between. Kind of trying to make sure that everything is filled in along the edge. Again, some short, some long, however you want to do it. We have one more color to go, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, honestly, it's a coconut. No two coconuts are the same. So as long as you get some color in there and you get it sorted like this, it's going to look the way you want it to look. Okay, this is where I'm going to start putting a little bit along this edge right here. The inside part, that's more like the inside of the coconut, which is more white than anything else. So I'll probably use the white gel pen for that part. So our last one is E33. And we are going to just do this back and forth super fast anywhere that there's white left. Don't blend, just back and forth, cover any white. Up here on this top section, this is all going to be this color, just like that. Perfect. I'm going to use this E33 to do this stem of my little umbrella. And I'm going to go back with my E23, if I can find it. And we're going to put just a little bit of darker, shadowy color right there. Just a little bit. Don't need a whole lot. A little bit goes a long way. Okay, so next we're going to do the, we're going to do the flowers, the leaves, not the flowers, the leaves. But the flowers, they're going to be the blue color that we used earlier, blue and red. So probably make our umbrella red, maybe orange. Our umbrella will be orange, and we'll use blue for the flowers. Maybe a little red mixed in with the blue because it'll make it really pretty. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with YG 67. So the same greens that we used on the other ones. And we're going to make this straw clear, see-through. Oh, yay. Thank you, Patsy. We're going to make that see-through, the straw see-through. So just bear with me. We'll get to that. We'll do it last, but I'll show you how to make it look like you can see everything through the straw. Okay, so this is a leaf right here. So we're going to get some of this really dark color behind the flower petal. Just adding a little bit in there. And then there's one here and one here. So if you've decided this straw is going to be see-through, you want to make sure that you don't color anything behind that straw yet. You don't want any dark color behind that straw. So what we're going to do is we're going to go along the bottom here, and then we're just going to skip over to here and do that. I'm going to do underneath the straw, but not in the straw. Yay! The coconut's fun, and it's super fast. You could do it lighter, darker, pick your different colors. Again, super fun. YG 17 is the next color. There's only going to be one more color. So we're going to go ahead and get this filled in there. I'm going to leave the edges of the leaves for the lightest color. So I'm just kind of extending out from the center where I put that darkest color. We're going to do the same thing with these. So coming out from where the straw is, leaving the tip of the leaf available for the lighter color. Okay. Now we're going to go to the YG03. And when we do this one, we're going to do just the edge into the center of the flower. That will keep the tips lighter. If I go from the center out, it will drag some of that dark into it, and then the edges won't be as light as I want them to be. So we're going to go from the outside towards the center. The more I do, the better you'll see it. See how that really stays light? That is the key. From the outside towards the center. Same thing all the way around. All right, next, orange umbrella. Here we go. No stopping us now. We're on a roll. I'm going to start with the YR18. And I might put a little design on here just for the fun of it, so you can see that it doesn't have to be just the way that I drew it. So we're going to go along these edges right here to show that that's kind of crunched together and sort of dark. It'll get lighter towards the end. Let's put a little bit of a design right here. So with this darkest color, I'm going to go along, just line along the edge, because this will have a much lighter color up here. Next, we're going to go to YR16. We're going to extend from where we put that last color. Extending that out a little bit. Just keep working it. Right out like that. And then we're going to make one more line right above this one. It'll just help enforce that one. So this umbrella is just going to have a stripe around the bottom of it, and you'll see better. You can't see it as well right now, but you will be able to. This is the perfect project for me because I'm such a newbie. Yes, it's a great project because there's a lot of little things that you can do to, you know, practice. YR04 is next. So we're going to do this one. We're going to come down from the top, but we're not going to do anything with the bottom now. We need that to be much lighter. So we're not going to do anything with that. Otherwise, we'll wash out our little stripe, and we don't want to do that. So let's see. YR02 is the last color that I have out here on my desk. So we're going to take the YR02 and go along this edge area right here to get that filled in. It doesn't have to be straight. Those straws never are. And then we're going to come from that last line that we have and just brush stroke up towards the color we have. Just like this. That will keep this area really light, so you'll be able to see that little design I put in there. Now, if you want, you can always add a little bit more darker color to that, or a few more lines, whatever you want to do. It's your drink. Okay, time for the flowers. So when we do this flower, it's just going to all be the blue. But when we do this flower, I want to do the tips of it a different color. So probably I'll use one of the R colors for the tips of the flowers. So let's grab our BG colors. So BG09 is our darkest color. So we're going to start with that one. BG09. We're going to stay. Now remember, this is our drink right here. So we don't want to fill any of that in because we haven't decided what color drink we're going to have yet. But we're going to go in here and we're going to start with this darkest color right on the inside of those flowers, the deepest part of the flowers. And then we're going to skip the straw and put a little bit on the other side. Since we put some on this side of the straw, we also need to put some on this side so that that doesn't look weird because it's way light over here and way dark over there. Just going to follow these artist drawn lines. Not going to color into my drink. And then this petal is over that petal, so we need just a little bit right there. Let's do this one, just a teeny bit right in the center of this flower. We don't want too much in there, but we do want to keep that really dark color right there in the center. Now BG07 is next. 05 and 04. Okay, that works out very nicely. Okay, so extending from this one into the part of the petals. And then this one, any petal that touches the edge, that one doesn't touch the edge, but this one does. We want to put a little bit in there because it's like the petals folded over. So you want to make sure you get a little bit of that color in there. So right here and right here. Just represents that the petals are folded. I'm going to also extend that out just a little bit. Oh, we need a teeny bit of this on this little one. So I'm going to start just spreading out from the center a little bit right now. Just a little bit. There we go. Next we have BG05. See, these are the same colors we used for all the drinks. So we only took so many markers out and we're just switching it up a little bit to make it all match. If you're going to put them all on the same card, I highly suggest doing that. That way you know everything will match. So I put that first coat on there. We're not going to use any other color. This is going to be the only one. But if I let that dry and come back over it, this part will remain lighter than where the other color is. Because anytime you layer dried Copic markers, it darkens the color. So remember that. You can always make more than one color with the colors that you have. If you go over it while it's wet, you'll keep within the same color. But if you go over it when it's dry, you're going to just darken that color, which is why it's harder to color something that's like 8.5 by 11 than it is to color something that's tiny like this. While it feels harder because it's so small, it's actually easier. Just take my word for that. I've colored them both ways, so it is much harder because you have to keep the paper wet. So you have to do small sections when you're doing a large item. Okay, let's take our R24, and what I'm going to do is go around the outside of this little flower with this R24. I just want to get a little bit of this red in there, just around the edges. I'm not going to put it on the bigger one. I just want them to look a little different. That was R24. Now we're going to use BG02 to blend these two together. And I'm going to pull out my BG05 and finish that flower so you can see how it works when you use the same marker on it. But I wanted the one in the middle to be a little bit lighter. So back to my BG05. And now that this is dried, I'm going to just do one little clean sweep over it. It will look dark until it dries. And I'm not blending and mixing. I'm just adding a little bit of color over top of that. Yeah, give it a time to dry. You can see it starting to lighten up a little bit. Okay, so for our drink mix, we're going to have a yellow drink in here. Well, we already had yellow, but that's okay. Maybe we'll make it green. Let's make it green, like a margarita kind of. This time we're going to start with our YG17. And I'm just going to put a few little spots inside this drink. Like that. Just a couple. There's not a lot of drink area. We're going to do the same thing with YG03. Just going to put a bit of that drink around there. Just a little bit. And then we're going to come in with YG21, which is really light. And we're going to finish coloring in anywhere that drink is. And that's going to be like a frozen margarita kind of in a coconut dish. In a coconut cup. Why not, right? Can't be wrong. And I'm going to do that white line right there with my white gel pen. Now, time to do the see-through straw. Are you ready? Okay. If you remember, I pulled out B000 for the glass. Do you remember that? We're going to use B000 to show that the flower is shining through this straw. So staying with the design of this flower, we're going to put that color in there. So you can kind of see it. It's still very light. It's not very dark. It always has to be significantly lighter than what you're coloring. So for the green part, I'm going to do YG21, but I'm going to do tip to tip with YG03 because I think 21 is a little bit too yellow for what I'm trying to do. So I'm just going to go along the edge where that leaf is. And don't worry, we're going to lighten it with the colorless blender. And I'll just put a little bit down here because you can see the drink as well. This is my YG21. Make sure you put the right caps back on your marker. I'm going to grab my C1 and put just a little bit that on this part of the straw that has nothing behind it. And then we're going to grab our colorless blender and we're going to lighten up this straw area. So this is my colorless blender. Oh, it still has blue on it. And what we're going to do is just go along here, soften this up, and just lighten it a little bit more. So we put that color in there, but now we're going to use the colorless blender to lighten it up. Now if you look at that, it's almost like you can just see through the straw. So always choose lighter colors that will show up better. Let me take this off of here. I need to cut this out. It won't take long, I promise. There's not a whole lot to cut, but this is how I fussy cut these. They're pretty easy. The hardest part I think was around the little tiki mask on the other drink because I didn't want to chop his little tiki top off. Nobody really cares how great you are at cutting as long as you leave a little bit there and you don't cut anything off. Honestly, if you cut something off though, if you taped it back together when you stuck it on the paper, nobody would ever notice. Unless you showed it to my husband, he would probably notice. He's very detail oriented. He'd be like, "What's wrong with that one?" You're like, "You're not supposed to notice that." And when we put a little bit of this white gel pen on that straw, it's really gonna look good. Oh, we forgot to do the little tips of this umbrella. The umbrella is pretty easy because you just wiggle your scissors around and it doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as you got something, just as long as you got some kind of design on there, it'll look right. One right. See? Done. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right, here we go. It's white gel pen time. Oh, I should probably do, I'm going to grab E23 and just do these tiny little tips right here because I forgot to color them in. I just need a little bit of color on there. Not that anyone would notice, but I would notice, so it will bug me. Okay, here we go. So we're going to take our white gel pen. I want to make sure there's no extra. I'm going to go down the straw a little bit like this, if I can get it to work. My white gel pen's almost out of white gel, so it doesn't want to work. Come on. There you go. And then I'm going to go all the way down like that. I'm going to put this white around here. Okay, now it's working. Just because this is coconut, coconut's white, I thought it would look cool to have that really, really white right there. And then maybe we'll add just a little bit on these umbrellas, kind of like we had a little bit of white on there too. It'll help show our design that we put on there. And then that'll just be super cute. Ah, you like it, Cheryl? The light is really bright right here. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so we have 3 drinks. We have super fast backgrounds using the same papers we used the other night. They are the Summer Vacation LaLaLand Craft papers. I really like them. It's called Summer Vacation. And now we're going to put these drinks, and I already have the sentiments stamped out, so I just need to cut around them to put them on there. I was thinking this one, this background, I know it's small, but I was thinking, doesn't it look like he's just hanging out there on his lava island all by himself? And then for the other one, I like that there's like buildings. Like this one has a pool right here, so we could put the drinks by the pool. I was like, I mean, how yummy is that? Put one here and one here. That's kind of in the pool though, so maybe I want to do it on a different one. Let me see what I got. There we go. So we could put these drinks like anywhere here. Kind of look over the beachy area. That would be really cute. I like that. So let's grab our card base. I don't have to cut them out because I have them pre-cut. I think this one will look good with this one. And probably the same one would look good with the other one. Or maybe I'll grab a little bit more of a teal-ish color. Well, man, I made all those cards the other night and I used most of my colors up. So maybe I'll use a darker blue for that one. You have a light blue and a dark blue. These are already cut in card base format, so I just have to fold them. That makes life easier. Now, these papers, they're 8.5, I mean, they're 6 by 6 this way, but then the flip side is a half and half, which is what we have right here, half of a card. You're terrible at fussy cutting. Use the slice. Yeah, you mentioned that. I don't know what that slice is. X-Acto knife, but you can't cut yourself. Okay, well, that's the right kind of X-Acto knife to have. I use this one. It's called a pen blade. This is the one I use. Got it off Amazon, super cheap. But yeah, I fussy cut all the time, so it doesn't bother me. Just fold in this one on the line. Using my bone folder. Okay, so this one, because the background is made long like this.
You can make a mini slimline.
Yeah, I could make a mini slimline with it. But I think I'm going to do it this way. And I told you I made those like 89 cards the other night. So I have a bunch of scraps. And I'm just going to pull some scraps from out of my scrap drawer real quick. Oh, I found a good green. Maybe this green will work really good. Ooh, that'll work good with the other one. Ooh, orange or yellow. Yeah, that one will look good with that one. See how easy that was? This is all the scraps from the other night. So I'm going to cut this down. So these are A2 cards. I always do A2 cards just because I like it, not because it's like better than anything else. I just do it because that's my favorite size. And I am cutting this to slightly smaller than A2 by 1/4 inch. This is going to be the background paper. It's going to go on here. It's going to kind of look like sunlight behind this drink. I think that's cool. And depending on where I want to put the sentiment, I could put it up
or I could put it down, probably up. The sentiments that I have, I told you I already had them made. Don't know what happened to them, but I'm sure they'll show up here in just a minute. Somewhere. There they are. Bam. There they are. So we could use more than one because this is really cute. So let me go ahead and attach this. Oh, look, you could even use that side. That's what I love about these. You could use any side you want, but this one looks a little more sunshiny, and he's supposed to be a lava drink. So I kind of want him on the beach instead of beside the resort. So I'm going to place this on there approximately where I want it. And I did this before I attached the paper to the background, to the card base, so that I can trim off the extra easily. Otherwise, you know, you got to figure it all out. I did put glue too far on the paper, but that's okay. I have sticky scissors that I use to cut tape. So since there's glue on there, I use my sticky scissors. Cut that off. That's a good trash piece now. Now we can put it on our card base. I am all about clean and simple. I always make my cards fairly clean and simple. I like pattern paper, usually solid paper for a mat, and I like some bling, and that makes me happy. On the live, sometimes I go all out, but that's just for you guys. That's just for you special friends of mine. Get to see all the elaborate details. All right. There we go. How cute is that? I really want him on the beach, so I think I'm going to put him up here. I have a couple of sentiments, so I may use more than one. So I think I'm going to cut this one, the Keep Calm and Tiki on, because I really like this one. And I kind of think it goes pretty good with this guy. So I realized that I had cut it kind of funny over here on this side, so I'm just going to cut it out. This is a quick and easy way you can cut your sentiments. You don't have to go all detailed around them, as long as you put, you know, a little wavy here and there. People think you did that on purpose. And they're like, oh, that looks really good. And you're like, yeah, I just was winging it. See? Just go in here like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just go along there. It doesn't even have to be straight. As long as you have some kind of a little design to it, it looks like it was done exactly on purpose. Put that down there. Maybe I'll put that down here. I can't decide yet. Oh, we should put this one. This is so good. This one says, save water, drink rum. And I'm going to put it right over the water. How cool is that? It's perfect. It's like the water is talking to him. So cute. You're so loving this? Yay! So I'm going to glue these down. I like using a couple of these. The sentiments are really good. They really go together nicely. I really like that. So I'm going to move this over just a little bit so it's not right on the edge of the card. Just like this. I'm going to take my little drink. I should probably make sure I have some along the bottom so it stays stuck down there. We're going to stick that right here. I mean, this is the perfect paper pad, man. I love this paper pad. Anything beachy, though, anything that you have that's beach theme would go really good with these stamps.
We're going to put this one over here, over the water, like he's saying, please don't drink me. He'd be all salty anyway. Save water, drink rum. I mean, who doesn't like rum? Rum. I love rum. That's the one I like. Look how cute that is. Oh my goodness. Let me see. I got some dots here. And we can fancy it up a little bit. Maybe put a couple of them up here. I think that'll look cute. Just going to put 3 dots of glue there. And then I'm going to pick up my little blue pearl dot. 1. There's another one. Just make sure I get it straight. 2. 1 more. Oh, I got it stuck to my fingernail now that I have glue on my finger. Okay, go back down there and behave. So I'll use my little press thingy to press them down. That way they'll stay and be happy. Barely Art glue dries clear, so when it's dry you won't even be able to see it. Super fun. And then let's do the other one. We can do it super quick too. This one, again, I'm going to cut it the same size as the other one, 1/4 of an inch smaller than an A2 card. I'm going to cut a little from the top and a little from the bottom because I think that will make it the perfect scene. Ooh, we should use this color too. Let's see how wide this is. This might not work. It's too small. Maybe we'll use it for the sentiment. Here we go. Here's our card. I'm going to put this one on top. So cool. Yep, it's going to be perfect. To me, the longest, most challenging part of making a card is coloring the images. Putting these cards together like that, it's super fast at it. Every now and then one will stump me and I'll sit on it for a while and I can't, and then I just put it away because later I think it'll come to me. But mostly I can whip through these cards like this super fast. I love these drinks. Here we go.
I'm gonna take that green and create like a small band to put across the bottom to put your sentiment on.
Well, I was gonna put it up here on the top, and I was gonna put it on the green. That was my plan. Perfect. Dale's in the room now. You guys can hear him talking. He's joining me because he knows I'm almost done, and then he gets the TV back. Where'd my tweezers go? There they are. All right, so here we go with our really awesome little sunrise drink here.
Yeah, tequila sunrise.
Yep. Look like a tequila sunrise. And then we have a little coconut drink here that's a little bit margarita-like because it's green.
It's a blue wine.
It's not blue, it's green. The drink is green.
Nice.
The fluid of the drink is green.
Midori sour.
Ah, Midori sour. There you go. I like Midori sour too. There we go. Now we have 2 drinks. And make your card making wizard. It's just because I have done it for so long. Like I color a whole bunch of stuff and I just keep stacking it up. And then I'll cut out all the images one night, and then the next night I just go crazy making cards. That's how it works for me. I think either time flies when you're having rum or it's rum o'clock somewhere. Maybe it's rum o'clock somewhere. I think that might be perfect. And
I'll show you how I do that. We're going to cut this out. Really easy. It doesn't have to be straight. I don't normally ever do the, oh, it has to be straight. I just do this. If I don't have a die, I just do this. And then I roll with it just like that. Just curve my edges and then I'm super happy. And then I'll take that piece and I'll put it on this green. And this will be my mat for the sentiment. So I'll just lay it right here on this green. Again, I'm not going to cut it out straight. I'm going to cut around it just like I just did, only a little bit thicker. Just like this. As long as you stay approximately the same distance from the sentiment all the way around, it's just as good as putting a die around it. The more you do it, the better you'll get at it. See? It looks like I did it with the die. Then I just take that. We're going to put it right here in the sky, just like a sign. Since our drinks have blue and peach in them, maybe we'll use the peachy, the orangey peachy gems on this one. So I think I'm going to put them over here. One here, and one there. And I have a bigger one. Let's see if I can open up my tweezers far enough to pick it up. I don't know if I have enough glue for that one. We'll put it down here. I may have to add more glue to that one. It was bigger than the one I thought I was going to put there. Then we have this one. And I just come in with this afterwards and press it down. Give it a chance. I knew that one was going to need more glue. I didn't have enough glue on there. Alright, stick.
Will your shop have stamp and die sets?
Will your shop have stamp and die sets? You and Dale could rule the crafting world. Well, in the beginning, we're not going to have any die sets until we figure out the tariff stuff, because you can't buy dies in the US. There's nobody makes them here. I've been everywhere. But they do make stamps in the US, so I will definitely have those. Everything else, stencils, stuff like that, we're making all of that. So the designs are ours. We've designed them. Usually stencils are Dale. Even our bling is going to be made by us. The only thing that we have to wait on is what we're going to do about dies, and we're just trying to figure out how that's all going to pan out. So I think we will eventually have dies, but just not right off the bat. But Dale, are we going to have SVG files for some stuff?
It's possible.
I mean, we're working on trying to get SVG cut files. If you have a Brother Scan and Cut, you're totally fine, because you can cut anything with that. You don't even have to, you just run the plate through it, it scans it. You can either cut it on the line or you can put a border. It's really simple to do.
Silhouette or Cricut, and they'd be able to use like SVG for a Cricut cut.
Silhouette and Cricuts will allow you to use an SVG cut file. And we can generate cut files, but we're talking about that. You're a patient person. Yeah. The dies will be an issue for a little while, but eventually we're going to try to get them. But right now with the tariffs and stuff, it's so expensive. And they took away that if it's under 800, then you didn't have to do the tariff thing. They took that away.
It's 54%.
And now it's 54% for those people who order under 800. And for me being really small and just starting out, I don't need $800 worth of dyes. So the more I sell, the better I'll be able to spend money. So let's hope all goes well and we can buy lots, or they drop the tariffs and we can buy littles. If that makes sense, hopefully. But yes, but we do have some really cool products coming, and I'm really excited about it. So definitely stay tuned. Dale, can I tell them that date that we talked about now? Or do you want to hold off?
No, tentative.
Our tentative date is June 13th, right, honey?
Yes.
Is that what we said? June 13th. So really, it's May 29th, so it's not too long. It's almost 2 weeks, but it's just so we can finish photographing everything and getting it on the site. Otherwise, you would only have half the stuff, and you have to keep coming back. Well, you should keep coming back anyway. There'll be new stuff all the time, but yeah, we're really excited. The drinks look great. These you can get from Paper Playdates. These are, she's very tiki, all about the tiki. So this is how you find her, paperplaydates.etsy.com. And I actually met her at the retreat I was talking about earlier with Shalana. Teresa was sitting behind me. So that's how I met her, and she was saying she was looking for somebody to draw some tiki stuff, and it worked. Still too long, been waiting forever. I know, it's been a year. It's been a year. Last year's my last release with Sweet Sentiment was in May of last year. June's when everything went nuts, and so it's been 1 year. So really not too bad that it took me a year to recover and get my feet back going and get a store ready to be up and running. It's not too bad, you know. I mean, sometimes other things heal faster, but it was more about the heart, mending the heart and all that stuff. Getting my stuff back together and starting from scratch. So there you go. I hope you enjoy the drinks. I'm pretty sure I loved them so much that you'll probably see more drinks coming from me in the future. Because those were so fun. And who doesn't like a It's Rum O'Clock Somewhere card? It's awesome. I hope you guys super enjoyed that. June 13th will be here before you know it. We'll be making a lot of ruckus before then. Maybe we'll start some sneak peeks and stuff after next week. And yeah, it's coming. So get ready. And thank you for watching. Thank you for staying the whole time. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, I super appreciate you. Make sure you like and subscribe before you leave. These are the 2 cards we did tonight. This is the one we did the other night. All the images from Paper Playdates in one place. Super cute. One more reminder, this is LaLaLand. People were asking me after the show the last time. This is LaLaLand Summer Vacation Paper. So if you're looking for that, that's where you can get it. Thank you so much. And Beth, I'll be sending you Copic lists probably tomorrow. And this was super fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys on Tuesday next week. Good night.